What's up, YouTube? It's your boy T Fit, man, and I am back with another video. Man, what a fight! What a fight! What a fight! What a fight! The pound for pound number one best fighter in the world, Terrence Bud Crawford, versus Sean the Showtime Porter. What a great fight, man. First, let's give a shout out to Sean the Showtime Porter, man. He announced his retirement after the fight with Terrence Crawford. Um, Sean Porter has fought some very big names in his game, and he got outclassed in the fight. His dad called the stoppage, and it was the right choice. After the second knockdown, you could see the frustration on Sean Porter's face as he smacked the canvas with his gloves. And his dad knew from that point on that, you know, his son lost the fight, that he was not there anymore. Terrence Crawford, on the other hand, um, like I told y'all before, he was going to start off slow. He had to figure him out from the beginning. And that's what Terrence Crawford do. He's really like a scientist in this game. He know how to break you down orthodox or softball, and that's what he did. He went softball the from the beginning of the fight, which was very surprising. Um, Man, and shout out to Terrence Crawford because you know every opponent that you put in front of him, he beat him. He's undefeated. Over 30 victories, no losses, and it's not too many fighters that can really say that they dominate you from the first round to the 12th round. And even if Terrence Crawford lost the first 2 or 3 rounds, it's always up in the air because you never know if he really lost them rounds um, because he don't take big shots. It's been only a few times that he has really been hurt, maybe once or twice that I have seen personally. So I just wanted to give like my personal and you know don't go crazy on me. My pound for pound top 10 fighters right now. I just want to throw it up there in the air, and I want you guys to really give these fighters just go and watch their fights, and you be the judge. Um, right now, I'm gonna start at 10. I'm a Josh Taylor overseas in the UK. He dominates everybody that he fight. He's extremely fast. Um, he like to get feints before he throw his punches. So he's kind of playing a Tom and Jerry game with you while he's in the boxing ring, and he's extremely fast, man. I had to really do some research on him because everybody been talking about him. So I went back and watched literally 10 fights, and I was impressed, with his fighting style. Um, he has a pretty decent jab. He sit down on his punches. I think personally, the heavy hitters, they sit down on their punches, and I love his fighting style. Another fighter, Javante Tank Davis. He's like the mini Mike Tyson. I mean, he's ranked number 9 on my list of pound for pound. He's not on a lot of people top 10 pound for pound lists, but I'm gonna throw him in there because, man, y'all know what Tank Davis do, man. Anybody that he fight, it's fight works. And it's a guarantee. It's a 92 to 93% chance that he's gonna knock out whoever he fight. What can you really say about that? It is a couple fighters that I would love to see him fight, like TFE Lopez, who's also on the list. He's ranked a little bit higher. I want to see him fight David Haney. Um, I want to see him fight Neo, the 28-year-old fighter from China, who's also on my list. He's a big fighter. He's extremely technical. There's still a couple names out there that I want to see Tank Davis fight, but you got to throw him on the list. You know, he's at a 90% knockout ratio. You know, anybody that you put in front of him, he knocks them out. Early in his career, you know, he had some weight issues. You know, so he lost the belt. But every fighter, not every fighter, a lot of fighters go through that. You know, but I got him ranked at number 9. Number 8, one of my all-time favorites, Triple G, who's also very highly on to the knockout ratio. He has a loss or two against Canelo, and I'm not gonna say it, but okay, I'm gonna say it. I think that the first fight he beat Canelo. Um, a lot of people, you know, thought the same, um, but I thought that Canelo was gonna come back and fight Triple G again for the trilogy. But you know, as we know, Canelo has been ducking and dodging a couple fighters right now. Don't like I said, don't get at me for it. But it's just my opinion. You know, everybody have their own opinions. Teofimo Lopez. Um, he's another fighter that's extremely strong. I have him ranked at number 7. Um, Teofimo Lopez is another young fighter who's been going back and forth with David Haney, um, Javante Tank Davis. We want to see them fights, you know, between Tank Davis and Teofimo Lopez. You never know. They are very stair steps with their ranking. And, you know, he's on a lot of people, pound for pound, um, best fighter list. And, you know, like I said, go and watch these guys because, you know, it's just my opinion on them. You know, I feel like Teofimo Lopez deserved it. He's unified right now, and you know, what can you say about him? He has a very strong jab. He has a beautiful overhand. You know, and just like Tank Davis, Teofimo Lopez can knock you out at any time too. You know, you look at him and be like, oh man, he ain't knocking nobody out. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Um, Number 6 on my list, I'm gonna go with Earl Spence Jr. And the reason why he's ranked number 6 and not ranked higher is because, you know, he did have to come back fight against Danny Garcia, and he dominated Danny Garcia. You know, he dominated him, but you know, Earl Spence haven't been in the ring like that, and we know that he came from a car crash, and you know, something with his eye. The doctor didn't want him to fight, so he's off of a lot of people pound for pound top tens. You know, and he's on mine. You know, he's ranked number 6, and I'm not gonna take him off my list because you know he had an injury or anything like that. You know, I do feel like he will be back 2022. Um, I want to see him fight the pound for pound number 1 fighter in the world, Terrence Crawford. You know, I'm sorry to say it, but you know he's my number 1 pound for pound fighter. So I want to see him fight Terrence Crawford next, and I would love to see that fight February, March. You know, hopefully Earl Spence Jr. is back by then. Let's go to number 5. Alexander Usyk. He beat Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua have a lot of holes in his fighting game. in his fighting style. Um, but for somebody to move up to the heavyweight class and dominate a heavyweight champion who was a former heavyweight champion who dominated him, and he's very technical. You know, he works with a great trainer. Um, Me personally, I think that he's going to give a lot of heavyweights a run for his money. I don't want to see him versus Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury yet, but I do want to see him fight against some of the much younger heavyweights right now that's making a buzz into the heavyweight game. You know, to get his feet wet. You know, I understand that he did fight Anthony Joshua, but I don't think that Anthony Joshua can beat some of them younger heavyweights right now, and that's just my opinion. You know, um, number four, uh, Naomi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The 28-year-old fighter from China. He fought under Shakur Stevenson last fight. He was the co-main event. He's from China. He's now fighting in the States. Listen, he's fast. I'm not going to... He reminds me of Pacquiao, to me. I do think that he's much bigger than Pacquiao. Uh, but he's extremely fast. He's technical sound. You can tell that he's a coach's dream because when I watch his fights and the translation of what his coaches were saying, literally he was doing that in the ring. And a lot of fighters, you know, the coaches say something and the fighters give that nod like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but you don't really see it until like the next 2 or 3 rounds. And within that round, within that minute, he's doing it, you know. And I like that as a fighter, as a fighting fan, you know. I want to see more on him. He hasn't really fought any extremely big names, but I do want to see him move up, and in a minute he will be in that class with TFE Lopez and Gervonta Tank Davis and them. You know, I do think that a lot of fighters will shy away from him. That's just my opinion. I do think a lot of fighters is going to shy away from him. Only because he doesn't have the major big name, but he's on a lot of people pound for pound. He's on a lot of people top 10. So I think a lot of people are going to shy away from him just to protect their records. And that's hats off to him, you know. Number 3, Tyson Fury. 6'9", 300 plus pounds. What can you say? He has a chin that a lot of people haven't seen before. A lot of people haven't seen before. Great footwork, great boxing IQ. Not only that, he has one of the best trainers in his corner, Sugar. You know, the guy can box. He can move to be that big, you know, and he can also fluctuate his weight. He can use his weight within fighting. Depending on who he fight, you know, you will look at him like, man, this guy is just a slob. But when you see him move across the whole canvas, you be like, wow. I love Tyson Fury fighting style. I think Tyson Fury is very unique. So I got him ranked number 3. Number 2 on my list, as far as the pound for pound best fighter in the world, is Canelo Alvarez. I know y'all like, he's number 1. between him and Terrence Crawford, it's like this. And the reason why it's like that is because Terrence Crawford doesn't shy away from fighters. It's still a couple people that I want to see Canelo Alvarez fight, like David Benavidez, the Charlos. I want to see that fight. Canelo Alvarez is fighting somebody that nobody never heard of, and that's kind of a disappointment in the fighting game. If you just even watch the reactions on people, and if you watch the interview with Canelo Alvarez talking about David Benavidez, he's kind of shy away from it. Speaking of David Benavidez, he's on my top 15 right now. I do want to see him fight against Charlo, and then you know what? I wanted to see him fight Canelo Cinco de Mayo. Two Mexican fighters. Cinco de Mayo would have been like one of the greatest showdowns ever. But Canelo Alvarez, everybody know Canelo Alvarez. He can fight, man. He's after the Floyd loss, his defense has became very, very technical. He's great head movement, good footwork. He has a solid jab. He's a stingray to the body. Beautiful body shots. So yeah, Canelo Alvarez, man. And then Terrence Crawford, my number one pound for pound. A lot of fighters shy away from him too. A lot of fighters don't really want to fight him. They talk the talk, but they don't want to fight him. Terrence Crawford, he can beat you with both hands. There's not too many fighters on this list that can really knock you out with both hands. And that's one of the reasons why he is my pound for pound, because he can knock you out with both hands. A lot of fighters in the 147 division don't want to fight him. And me personally, if Earl Spence don't fight Terrence Crawford, I would like to see Josh Taylor move up to take that fight, come to the States, and take that fight. I think that will bring a lot of attention, not only to the States, but in the UK, because Josh Taylor is a big name overseas, and I would love to see him fight Terrence Crawford. Even though I think Terrence Crawford will win that fight, Josh Taylor never seen a fighter like Terrence Crawford before. But we also want to see Terrence Crawford versus Earl Spence. We've been waiting on that fight for a very long time. But Terrence Crawford, yes, number one pound for pound fighter. If you don't believe me, just go and watch his fights. What can you say about it? Terrence Crawford is the number one pound for pound fighter. Hands down. If he's higher than 2 on that list, y'all haven't been watching boxing. I'm sorry. But it's your boy T Fit, man, and I just wanted to throw that out there, man. And, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, man. And, we will be posting more videos. And, comment at the bottom and tell me who you want me to react on. And some reaction videos will be coming soon. Peace.